imitate the chili.
I'm here.
Oh, hi there. My name is Prostetnik Vogon Jeffs, and in this video I'm talking about Battle for the Earth. Oh, no, that's not right. What's going on here? I meant Battlefield Earth. How did that happen? How did I wind up with a German copy of this movie when I purchased it legitimately in North America, just like every other law-abiding North American citizen? I am a law-abiding citizen! Let's just keep moving. Battlefield Earth stars John Travolta, Barry Pepper, Forrest Whitaker,
Please, I made a mistake.
Kim Coates, and Richard Tyson for all the Kindergarten Cop and 3 O'Clock High fans out there. It was directed by Roger Christian, the second unit director from Return of the Jedi and The Phantom Menace. So, you know, not a great start. But this dude is also credited with more or less creating the lightsaber prop for A New Hope. We can acknowledge that being pretty awesome, right? Props to Roger Christian. Sorry. Seriously, where is everybody?
It's time for your suffering.
I blame Tarantino for this mess. If he hadn't reignited a failing actor's stardom with Pulp Fiction, Travolta would never have had the influence to get this L. Ron Hubbard nonsense off the ground. Nobody wanted this. Everyone in Hollywood notoriously rejected involvement with this turd from day one.
I don't like it.
Even Tom Cruise was like, yeah, I don't think this is a good idea, guys. And that guy is puss deep in Scientology. And before you ask how Battlefield Earth is connected to Scientology, I'll explain. The cult of Scientology was invented by author L. Ron Hubbard. He published a book called Dianetics in 1950 and yada yada yada, Scientology. One of the key beliefs of this pseudo-religion is that traumatic events create these things called engrams in your mind, and the only way to remove them is by auditing them, which happens to cost lots and lots of money, naturally. There's also something about an alien called Xenu who was the ruler of a galactic confederacy 75 million years ago. Go look it up, it's hilarious. Anyway, back to the question at hand. Battlefield Earth has nothing to do with Scientology outside of some common sci-fi themes and the fact that it was backed by Travolta and the Church of Scientology. Maybe there's more to it than that, but I can't be bothered to figure it out. I think the general consensus is that the movie was going to be used to attract a new audience to Hubbard's books, which would lead to more Scientology converts. Yeah, sure. All right, let's audit this crap movie and try to clear out some engrams in the process. This movie is terrible, and I'm going to spoil the shit out of it. All right. God damn it. I guess I'm going to have to translate this gibberish. I mean, German. The year is 3000 AD. Earth, once the home of humanity, has been ruled by cruel aliens from the planet Cyclo for 1,000 years. Planet Cyclo. As on countless other planets throughout the galaxies, the Cyclos mine metals on Earth and teleport them to their own home planet. Gold is the rarest and most valuable metal of all. The dwindling human population is fighting for its survival. Hidden in caves within contaminated zones, humanity is on the verge of extinction. So, what you're saying is that man is an endangered species? Yeah, great. Mankind, oh god, sorry, I forgot that there are people who watch these videos that get offended if I use words they don't like.
Oh, thank God for that.
Personkind, for you f***ing retards,
We have no more stupid people. Everybody has a learning disorder.
has reverted to primitive cave persons who, okay, no, sorry, I can't do it.
Makes me want to engage in an involuntary personal protein spill.
To everyone who clutches pearls when someone uses words they don't like,
Get out!
we've got a bunch of cave dwellers hanging out, waiting for Johnny Goodboy Tyler. His fiancée, Chrissy, waits for his return from the Forbidden Land. Which he does, like 2 seconds later. You see, Johnny is a greener, which is just this stupid movie's word for nomad. He comes bearing medicine for his sickly father, but finds out he died in the middle of the night. So he screams at the sky. And then buries his dad. Then he makes fun of the demons who the cave dwellers believe in.
A demon! A monster! A beast!
and takes off on his horse. He's stopped on his way out of town. Way out of town? On his way out of cave? By Chrissy, who really wants to come with him. But he's like, nah.
You arrogant greener.
So she gives him a family heirloom.
It's for good luck.
And he bolts out of there. On his journey, Johnny's horse gets spooked by a loud noise, and he is forced to do battle with a mini-putt dinosaur.
So you're the beast we're all afraid of.
Johnny then gets confronted by Carlo and Rock, a couple of hunters who claim to have seen the gods. Johnny offers them food, but in exchange, they must show him proof.
First you show me the god. Then we eat.
They agree and take him to a deserted city, overgrown with lush vegetation and full of completely invisible glass walls. What a doofus. The three cavemen are attacked in slow motion during supper by a shadowy figure. Johnny tries to escape, but is hit and... Man, this guy just does not have any luck with glass walls. He and Carlo are captured, along with a handful of other primitives, and are taken to an alien city built on the ruins of Denver, Colorado. They can't breathe the atmosphere of the alien city and are given respirators by one of the cyclos.
It helps you breathe. Take it. I can't. Take it.
Those are the aliens, remember? Yeah, you remember. Johnny and Carlo immediately try to escape. Carlo is incapacitated, but Johnny manages to get his hands on a cyclo gun and kill one of his captors. He makes a break for it, running past dozens of cyclos who do literally nothing to stop him, before finally crashing into John Travolta's Turl, the cyclo security chief.
Who is responsible for allowing this man-animal to run around unsupervised?
Man-animal? How did they not go with manimal?
Manimal.
Or, you know, animal. That would have worked. Or man. I think by now we can all recognize that the writing in this movie is painful garbage. Next time you complain about AI being used to write scripts, remember that this movie was written exclusively by humans.
Yeah, why don't you just... What?
I think. Johnny and his fellow captives get hosed down while fully clothed, and then one of the cyclos burns Chrissy's charm. So much for good luck, right? Meanwhile, Turl gets a visit from a high-ranking official from Home Office,
We've decided to keep you here for another 50 cycles.
informing him that his behavior with a senator's daughter has resulted in an indefinite extension of his security assignment. Back on planet Cyclo, the high-ranking official returns to enjoy some Cyclo air. Okay, now back to a bar on Earth. Turl's executive assistant, Kerr, doesn't get why his boss is so upset.
You still get to be head of security, which, from what I can tell, is a pretty cushy job.
I was being trained to conquer galaxies!
And Johnny gets into a fight with his prison cell's alpha prisoner over food, and earns the respect of his fellow captives by showing mercy. Later, Turl finds Kerr hiding evidence of a massive gold deposit.
I saw you!
Unfortunately, the gold is located in an area rife with radiation.
It's full of uranium. No cyclo can get there without his breath gas exploding. There's no way to mine the golds.
So the two security officials pitch a plan to have the humans mine the gold.
What if we were to train them how to mine?
But Planet Ship Numph, But Planet Ship Numph isn't willing to take the risk and puts the kibosh on Turl and Kerr's plan, which they more or less ignore. Oh, and then Johnny tries to escape. Again! And Turl, interested in using Johnny for the mining operation,
That one does seem to be unusually intelligent and resourceful.
but understanding that he needs leverage to get him to do what he wants,
But it's also defiant, which means we'll need leverage over it.
lets him escape so he can find out what food he likes? What the f*** is going on with this movie? Johnny and his pals find some super lethargic rats and eat up.
We're really going to have leverage over them now.
And what's this? I smell a camera. After having their surveillance tech sniffed out by the man-animals,
Badass, let's go round them up!
Turl and Kerr head out to round up their future gold miners. And then Turl puts Johnny in some kind of teaching machine so that he can learn all about the Cyclos and how to speak their language and how to be super awesome at mathematics. And I'm sorry, but why is a super advanced alien civilization using the metal equivalent of stone tablets? These guys have cameras and computers and ships that can cross the galaxy. What the f is going on with— oh, did I already say that? Whatever. What the f is going on with this movie? Well, it's been about an hour. Time to check back in on Chrissy and see how she's holding up. Okay, cool. Back to Turl force-feeding rats to Johnny.
Do you want lunch?
And a small-scale uprising by the humans doesn't go as planned, and results in a trip to the Denver Library. This is where Johnny discovers the Declaration of Independence. Okay, you know what? Can you excuse me for just one moment? Sorry about that. Okay, where were we? Right, Turl shows Johnny that he can shoot real good. And Kerr got a hold of
Chrissy, wake up now!
and strapped a bomb collar around her neck to prevent Johnny from trying any more revolutionary crap. So, guess what Johnny starts doing almost immediately? Turl then miraculously finds a way to blackmail Planet Ship Numph and get the okay for his operation. Turl gives Johnny the Lawnmower Man Project 5 crash course so that he can fly their ships and learn how to mine gold. But Johnny has no intention of mining the gold. He's going to get it from Fort Knox instead.
So, we have to pretend that we're mining the gold. Figure out where we're going to get the gold. Then we have to get the supplies to help our revolt.
Which, and I can't stress this enough, is an absolutely impossible task for 3 Neanderthals who don't understand how a map works.
We haven't crossed this line, I swear. It's impossible. We couldn't have crossed all these lines without seeing one.
Well, we did, okay?
The lines must have just faded over time.
Even the dude who got matrixed up with a metric ton of cyclo knowledge doesn't get it. And then, surprise, they end up at the Library of Congress in Washington. What? Too slow. Now they're back in the caves, plotting their revolution. Johnny decides the best way of attacking the Cyclos is in their domed city in Denver. And Carlo is going to blow up the dome during the uprising.
Piece of cake. Piece of cake, piece of cake, piece of cake.
Listen, I get it, I'm nitpicking here, but if the Cyclos have been enslaving mankind for 1,000 years, how is the phrase piece of cake still in use? None of these primitives know what cake is. This movie is so stupid. It makes me appreciate the modern Drek being shoveled out on streaming well, okay, sorry, took it too far. Oh, shit. Now they're in Texas. I'm having a hard time keeping up with these guys. And I've got a question for you. What happens when you put cavemen in a military flight simulator?
You sure you can teach your men to fly this?
Keep in mind that this would be for less than 2 weeks. That's how long Turl gave Johnny to get his gold.
Piece of cake, piece of cake, piece of cake.
So, a group of cavemen in a Harrier jet flight sim for less than 2 weeks. What do you get? While you're mulling that one over, let's go stock up on guns these morons have never used before, and some nuclear weapons for good measure. I guess all that cyclo information included a whole bunch of human information, like how to be a nuclear frigging physicist. Information about everything, except for reading maps. God, stop asking questions. Hey, Fort Knox. I was thinking we were never going to wind up at Fort Knox, but here we are. And it's not just me, right? These ships are cheap knockoffs of Boba Fett's Slave One, yeah? Just a random aside. Not really important. Never mind. Johnny and the boys load up the gold and deliver it to Turl, who demands the next shipment be delivered in half the time. 7 days. Johnny then confronts Kerr and makes a deal. Turl's secret recordings in exchange for the release of the prisoners. Kerr obliges, confident that he can use the videos to gain a greater share of the gold.
You want to trade? Let's trade.
And immediately tries to use his newfound leverage over his boss. But Turl is somehow 2 steps ahead and shoots his assistant's hand off. How much did this movie cost to make? Can someone please remind me? Johnny and his fellow revolutionaries launch their all-or-nothing assault in slow motion. Carlos stocks up on explosives and— wait, hold on. Can we go back for a second? How is there this much debris? I mean, this is insane. And the Cyclos don't seem too bothered by any of this. Fair enough. I mean, trying to fight a horde of humans on stilts is no fun. The Cyclos find Carlo on the roof, and he takes an alien spaceship down with a heat-seeking rocket. First time's a charm, I guess. But oh no, look out behind you, Carlo! Oh damn, who was that? Caveman Squadron to the rescue! That's what you get. Less than 2 weeks in a flight simulator and these monkeys are flying Harrier jets. Get the f*** out of town. I don't like to dump on religion. I think there's actually a lot of positives to leading a spiritual or religious life. I'm not here to judge or preach or whatever. As long as you're not pushing your views on others, you do you. But following the religious teachings of the same dude who came up with this garbage sci-fi story is a sure sign of lunacy. I wouldn't follow L. Ron Hubbard to the friggin' corner store, never mind following his moronic Scientology. And you know what? I'll go one further. I'm glad he's dead. Johnny manages to get Mickey, a fellow prisoner, to the teleportation pad in an effort to destroy the Cyclo homeworld. But Johnny is interrupted by Turl, who gives his security forces permission to exterminate at will. And Carlo tries to destroy the Denver Dome by kamikazing his way into it. It doesn't work, but he somehow manages to survive crashing a spaceship into a building. He detonates his ship full of explosives, shattering the dome and bringing the entire structure down. Turl calls for backup and fights Johnny, who manages to sneak Chrissy's explosive neck doohickey onto the angry Cyclo's arm without him knowing. Sheer buddy. Turl blows his own arm off as Mickey is teleported to the Cyclo homeworld and detonates the nuclear bomb. The alien planet is obliterated. Everybody celebrates. Turl is imprisoned at Fort Knox, and Kerr joins forces with the humans. To be continued. Never. The end. Good day, sir. Let's talk about the good, the bad, and the ugly of Battlefield Earth. This should be quick because it has no redeeming qualities. There's nothing original about the story. It's comically derivative and basically just shitty Star Wars. Yes, even shittier than modern Star Wars. The plot is contrived, the world building is laughable, character development is either ludicrous or non-existent. The pacing is laborious, with Snyder levels of slow motion being used at all the wrong moments. The antagonists are sledgehammer to the head stupid.
He's minimally exceptional.
But so is every character, so I guess that's a moot point. Nothing makes sense. The resolution is garbage. I mean, probably because this movie is only the first half of the novel it's based on. That's right, there was supposed to be a sequel. And the whole thing just makes you feel dumber for having watched it. And look at this. What the hell is going on over at IMDb? It doesn't matter. The point remains. This is a horrible movie on par with the Garbage Pail Kids movie. And maybe some of you will say,
"But Prosthetic, didn't you say Garbage Pail Kids was worth watching?"
Yeah, I did. Because it's a certain kind of awful that I actually find entertaining. It's kind of like watching two trains full of clowns smash into each other at full speed. Battlefield Earth is more like watching paint dry while occasionally being interrupted by a clown falling off of a roof. It's still kind of funny, but it's different, okay? I don't know, man. Maybe it is worth watching. Maybe you're really into wasting time, or you genuinely...
Have you blown a head gasket?
Maybe you're really into wasting time, or you genuinely like bad movies. It's probably worth watching for the historical context. There are legitimate laugh-out-loud moments, to be sure. Anytime Travolta is quote-unquote acting...
Are you not aware that I graduated top of my class?
...and a good chunk of the third act. I don't know. I don't know what to tell you other than Battlefield Earth is a truly terrible movie. That's all, folks. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like and subscribe.
Initiate the gas drone extermination sequence.